They keep doing these videos that are like, what are they doing? Like Lance Bass and Malibu Barbie do political commentary? I'm sorry. What are they thinking image-wise with these fucking Barbie dream house videos and this now? Like that, you know, there's like, we covered this where Brianna Joy Gray and Katie Halper had a discussion about class, drinking martinis and munching olives. Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Like, how do you think this plays? Right? You're supposed to represent a kind of populist left, like doing this kind of like reality TV upscale. Look at us being pundits and palling around with Marianne Williamson. Like, how do you think that looks to people? Do you think this plays? Like, what are they thinking?
I don't get it. They started doing these like I guess on demand sort of videos, I guess you can call it.
They started doing it about a year ago. It was about a year ago when they came out about the fact that they were dating. For whatever reason, they thought people wanted to watch them like hanging all over each other and talking about politics. I don't know where they got the idea that there was a huge demand for that.
Okay. All right, so let's play. Let's try to get through some. We don't want to be stopping, so maybe let's play the first 2 minutes, and then we can stop and comment, and then maybe play another minute, and then close this out. The RFK segment will be the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes or so.
Sure thing.
So let's speed this up. Let's try to go warp speed with this one. Let's listen and let me know if you want to stop. If it's just so egregious, I'll stop it.
There's a straight up reaction video. None of us have seen
it.
We're going in cold.
Let's
do it live.
Oh god.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Okay, do it live.
Oh, let me turn up the sound because the sound isn't the best. So let's listen.
We apologize for the abuse to the audience.
The reason why we're recording is because we just got news. It came out like a couple hours ago. Apparently, Cornel West is running for president. Now, he's not running as a Democrat. He's not running in the Green Party. He's not even running as an independent, although I think that might be a little up in the air depending on the structure of the party he's actually running for. But he's running in the People's Party. Now, for those of you who don't know, the People's Party was created.
There's like kids in the hall.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Race of Bernie. A staffer for Bernie by the name of Nick Brana decided he was going to create this third party. So they've been around since, I don't know, 2016 or 17 or 18 at the latest, something like that.
Yeah.
And they've been around since then. They don't have ballot access, and they've never gotten a candidate elected. So, and then there's been all this reporting and all these questions around the structure of the organization. There's all sorts of like sexual harassment allegations against Nick Brana. There was some sort.
Well, none of that's happening with the Democratic Party, right? There's no financial problems.
No, there are no scandals like that.
None of that's happening.
Okay, look at Krystal. She is fucking pissed.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, ruining it for my connection to build up Marianne Williamson. Damn you, RFK. Damn you, Dr. Cornel West.
I threw away my credibility for this.
This is what I don't understand about their supporters. Like, look at these people. Like,
I know.
I know. Like people that have your class interests. Do this is like the kind of people that have their ears tuned to the streets? Do this is like people that have any sort of fucking anything in common with you guys? Like, that's why it baffles me. Like, I get why liberals watch them, but I don't understand why anyone left a liberal, well, I guess they probably don't have any, but anyone left a liberal would watch these millionaires that completely out of touch. Like, I don't get the appeal.
The heated seat left.
Yeah.
Another
the
great
four-door
name.
left.
It's not just that they live like this, it's that they're so out of touch that they don't see anything wrong with showing you that they live like this while talking about a third party candidate. It didn't even occur to them that this is bad optics.
Sort of like the wine glass moment, like you mentioned.
Right.
A coup of the leadership positions that Brana did. Like, it basically, the organization itself is a total mess, right? So,
but Democrats are not.
When it comes to Cornel West, I love Cornel West. We had him on Krystal Kylan Friends.
He's a hero of mine.
He's a brilliant dude.
I don't know
why he's a hero of mine.
really good at going into spaces where like people would disagree with him,
Yes.
and making himself be really likable
He
and
does
really
an amazing
agreeable
job at
while not like giving up his principles at all.
Yes.
I
He's
see
very
him at
powerful.
all the
Yeah,
best
he's very
marches.
He's
Watch
there.
it.
Dynamic, charismatic, intelligent guy who I happen to agree with on probably 90% of policy stuff.
Yeah.
So I love Cornel West. I'll always love Cornel West. But honestly, my theory on this, and I'm curious what you think, Krystal, is that I don't think he looked into the People's Party at all. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think it's sort of like a boomer moment.
Dude, as I said in my last segment,
hey, we want you to
as I said
run.
in my last segment, Marianne Williamson supporters criticizing MPP is going to fall unbelievably flat. Everyone on this panel can do it because we're not supporting a candidate that runs in the Democratic Party. How does any of your critiques don't apply to the Democratic Party?
Right, exactly. Have you guys been researching the Democrats for the last
Yeah.
7 years?
Right.
What party are you fucking
Yeah,
running
you see how
in?
fucking smug.
Yeah, right.
Have you heard?
Research. Nigga, you didn't do research.
Have you heard of
that
superdelegates?
the Democratic Party is being led by a rapist who has more to do with the carceral state than any other living politician? Have you heard about that?
That's the same way where Crystal Ball says RFK positions on vaccines is a red line, but Marianne Williamson funding Nazis in Ukraine is. You guys see how much inviting someone to your wedding will bias your commentary to the point where there's no common sense in it? There's no common sense. You criticizing Dr. Cornel West for running in the People's Party, but you okay running in the Democratic Party after they cut social spending?
No, he didn't research MPP enough.
So how is MPP like? Let's take and I think a lot of us are in agreement on here. The worst shit that MPP did was being a badly ran organization, right?
Well, and what about Marianne Williamson? I mean, she's got this 30-year reputation of badly run organizations,
Exactly.
which they have never once asked her about. Mike Nichols, the film director, picked up with a bunch of other people on the board of directors of her AIDS organization and went and started their own to get away from her. Why would they do that? What is that, a competitive space? Everyone's trying to get into the AIDS charity business. Why would they do that if they weren't reacting to anything real?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep fucking with these people because I hate inconsistencies. You know what I mean? I really like weaponized hypocrisy is a form of corruption. And this is them misleading all. So Marianne Wilson, their organization is great. Democrats great.
That's pretty funny.
But Dr. Cornel West didn't do his due diligence on the People's Party. That's the level of
He had a boomer moment.
Anyway, let's continue the video. I know we want to be fast. Go ahead, CJ.
I can't believe he said they had a boomer moment as they support 70-year-old Marianne Williamson. I don't understand that.
The same Marianne Williamson who in 2020 was a part of the People's Party convention, because she spoke at that, said that she would not break away from the Democratic Party. She said this to Krystal because Krystal interviewed her when they were still on Rising. Marianne Williamson said that they have to defeat Trump. So in other words, Kyle and Krystal, what are you guys complaining about? I mean, Dr. Cornel West is going further than what Marianne Williamson will do. And again, 10 out of 10, I'm confident out of this. We all have said the same thing, that Marianne Williamson, as soon as she drops out of the race, is going to endorse Biden or whoever the Democratic establishment shill will be. That's what she's going to do. So in other words, Dr. Cornel West answered your question that you asked Marianne Williamson way back in 2020.
All right, let's continue. Thank you for that, Kit.
I don't think he looked into the People's Party at all. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think it's sort of like a boomer moment where he was approached and, hey, we want you to run and be our candidate or whatever, which, by the way, is a whole separate question, because usually the way these things worked is you have a fucking primary to determine who your candidate is going to be, and the People's Party apparently just anoints somebody.
Oh, God, how many more decades with
we're the
this
democracy
fucking
people.
asshole?
Are you really?
What
you
was
just
I
anointed
thinking?
somebody, the head of your party. But wait, you're supposed to have an election to figure out who's going to be the leader. But anyway,
Fair point.
I love Cornel West, so that's a side point, but I don't think he knew like about all the issues with the People's Party. And so, all it requires is like a Google search and digging a little bit deep, and he would have found it, but I guess he didn't do it. And so my guess is he's probably surprised right now at the backlash that's happening online. There's a decent amount of backlash where people are like, what are you doing? Like, do you know like who these people are? And then I see a lot of people making a point, which I think is a fair point, which is like, if you're going to run as a Green Party or an independent, because the Green Party, for example, I think the last election they had ballot access for 48 states.
Yeah, they have a real organization.
Yeah, even
like now they advocate for the Green Party. Now you do it. Are you fucking serious? As if you haven't hoarded yourself out on your channel to Marianne Williamson without any of these critiques. Now all of a sudden you're a Green Party activist. Get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They try to pull this shit off. You know the Green Party actually got 47 states. In the Marianne Williamson video, they were making excuses on why Marianne Williamson ran as a Dem. Like, yo, she ran as a Dem because that's her best chance to win. Now when it comes to Dr. Cornel West, all of a sudden you're a third-party scholar. You like technically Green Party got ballots. Get the fuck out of here.
Let's continue.
So as far as third parties go, the only ones that are even remotely viable, and I use that term loosely, is the Green Party and the Libertarians.
I mean, you also have, DS.
So let's understand the definition of viable. Let's understand the definition of viable. It can't be a rigged primary, and she has a viable option to get elected. Absolutely. Those two things can't coexist. If it's rigged, by definition, it's not viable. That's literally like the definition or a synonym or something to that effect. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Let's continue. Unless you guys are done, I kind of want to hear a little more. It feels like they're going to give more critique of him. I want to see if it's more than boomer moment. I'll go back some more.
Yeah, go back just a few seconds, because I think Krystal about to say something hilarious.
Okay.
Organization.
Yeah, even like the Libertarians have between like 48 states and 50 and all the states. Yeah. You know what I mean? So as far as third parties go, the only ones that are even remotely viable, and I use that term loosely, is the Green Party and the Libertarians.
I mean, you also have, DSA out there, which is a presidential candidate.
What?
I heard say it. We paused it. I had to hear it again.
I mean, they don't run candidates, do they?
They're an organization, not a political party.
They don't run organizations.
Listen, once again, the critique that we have of MPP is legitimate, right? Because we also have critiques of the DSA. You cannot shit on the MPP while propping up DSA as legit. Do you mean a pro-war DSA? The DSA that believe you should take over the Democratic Party? Have you done your research on the DSA, who they are? This is absurd. Go ahead, guys.
No, well, no, I mean, all the times I interviewed DSA, I mean, let's face it, 2016 and 2017, 2018 were probably their high points when they were getting a lot of the remnants of the Bernie Sanders movement. I mean, since then, what have they accomplished? Pretty much jack.
You had them on?
And I see A1 in the comments.
I've interviewed them in the past.
How did you handle the clapping ban? Did you avoid? Because we close out our show with clapping.
No. So the people who we interviewed.
That's why we haven't asked them on. We'd have to change our whole
outro.
Yeah. No. They would always like it was like pulling teeth with them, especially earlier on, because all the DSA members, all these groups were always concerned about, are you trying to take advantage of our name? Like, no, we're trying to shine a light on what are you trying to do? Are you building a movement? Are you setting up a political party? What are you going to do to help out the people here, not only here in Chicago, but nationwide? Like, what is your overall plan? And all what they do is discussion after discussion. There was nothing that they offered. It got to the point where, I'm again, same thing was covering those protests, wasting my time talking to people who just like to sit around and feel good about themselves. And that's it. No fighting.
As many people in the comments have mentioned, because we got a base community, they apparently know more than Krystal Ball does. The problem with what you just said, Krystal Ball, is that the DSA is not a party.
Right.
What
is she thinking?
Oh man.
Let's play. Okay, let's play. I'm gonna go back just a little bit so you can hear that last line, and then I'll let it play for another maybe a minute.
You know what I mean? So as far as third parties go, the only ones that are even remotely viable, and I use that term loosely, is the Green Party.
I mean, got self-driving cars.
I mean, you also have, DSA out there, which has never fielded a
organization
before, but they have, chapters nationwide, and it's a real organization with some sort of, infrastructure. That
it is not a real organization. That shit is really Democrat.
So it's perplexing. It's very confusing.
So the DSA strategy is the same as my strategy, which is, you be part of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, but run as a Democrat. Now,
Oh
why
my
would you run as a
God.
Democrat?
Brilliant.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, CJ. These videos are really hard to get to.
No, because he's
Okay.
look at what they just did, which is I don't know if she's pretending to be stupid or she's thinks her audience is stupid.
I
Probably
think
both.
I think she is
when they're
looking
saying
down
DSA,
the barrel of 40
they're talking
more
about
years
the Democratic
with this schmuck.
Party. But when they say DSA, why is she acting like the DSA operates outside of the Democratic Party? So when she says they got the DSA and then they got chapters, they have chapters, but they support the Democratic Party, and we see why they said that. It's coming right back to the Democratic Party because these are Democrats that has been selling themselves as progressives, and they're not. They're just Democrats.
Dude, I
That's
can't
all
believe
they
they
are.
said it, CJ. They just said it.
That just hurt my brain. That
this
just
is
hurt my brain.
Then the part where Kyle trying to convince people that the Marianne Williamson strategy is legit. Like the last 5-8 seconds of this with Glorious, like this is actually I support the strategy of running them. You know that what Marianne Williamson's doing. Instead of running, like this is unbelievable. Worse than I possibly.
Wait, let me hear it.
This video thus far. Listen, go back to that part again. This video thus far is worse than I could possibly imagine. Like this, I see Steve. It just gets worse and worse. I cannot believe that people watch this garbage. Listen, look at this part. Kyle didn't slip. So after bashing the People's Party, he then brings it back to the Democratic Party. Like, actually, you guys not support taking over the Democratic Party. Oh, girl, Marianne doing the same thing. Listen to this. Look at that. Look how you think he's slick. Go ahead, play CJ.
Same as my strategy, which is you be
a little bit further back. Hang on 1 second. Right here.
Structure that could theoretically be mustered behind you. So it's perplexing. It's very confusing.
So the DSA strategy is the same as my strategy, which is you be part of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, but run as a Democrat. Now, why would you run as a Democrat? It's very simple. In this country, we have first past the post voting, and we don't have ranked choice voting. As long as you have first past the post voting and you don't have ranked choice voting, you know what's going to happen? No third party candidate is going to win Dickie McGee's axe ever. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. I mean, we don't have any.
That is maybe if that's a fact. How is it? I go back to this, and I can play some more if you want. How can you, out of one side of the mouth, say they are rigging the elections by putting South Carolina first, by doing this with the debates? It's rigged, meaning it is a predetermined outcome. But then you say the Democratic Party is the viable way for your candidate. Those two things cannot exist at the same time. You have to pick one, but they're trying to act like it's almost like they are meaning to say these two things out of their mouths because this is not really to actually get tangible shit. This is just season. It's season to run. So we're running and we're doing this because it's the season. Go ahead. Anybody want to chime in before?
And what would they have done if he had run as a green? They would have said, "This is great." Yeah, no, they would have found other grounds to criticize.
Of course.
Yeah. Another thing too. Here. Hey, Kyle, I'm about to sink your theory in 3, 2, 1. Didn't you and Fat Tony set up a movement called Justice Democrats that you two were promptly then in a few months were kicked out of? So there's no way to reform the Democratic Party because the Justice Democrats got co-opted by the Democratic Party. Same thing as DSA. So you can't be part of a movement and organization that's supposed to bring change and then still run back to the neoliberal party. What are you, stupid? Did you forget what they did to you? What they did to you and Cenk? I mean, not to mention AOC and the squad who are associated with DSA and Justice Democrats no longer even show up on your goddamn shows. So what does it tell you, Kyle? It tells me that you like get smacked around and lose all the time and not even put up a consistent goddamn fight. So all this crap about talking about a real movement and then running as a Democrat, how are you going to pull it off when every attempt has failed?
The fact that he actually positively mentions DSA and praises DSA in 2023 shows how completely out of touch he is with activists.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
most activists, not even as far left as RBN, have been disowned DSA.
Yeah.
DSA is considered a clown in my neighborhood. Yeah. Like DSA, nigga,
they lost 12,000. They lost 12,000 members. We covered this, Nick. They lost 12,000 members last year.
Did they?
They have members not responding. They were called chapters and reach out. They're not getting responses. Yeah, we did cover this story.
Yeah, dude, they lost like 80% of their membership since 2016. Since 2016, they lost around like 80%. I'm going to
cut you off, Nick, but I got a little question to ask. Wasn't there also a report a while back that some chapters weren't even getting properly funded as well by DSA because there was a lack of, again, communication with resources? I mean, this was the height at their movement to where, I mean, I guess maybe people could forgive it a little bit, but they never got, and was there any talk about that at all? Because I believe that was also an issue too for local chapters.
I don't recall that off the top of my head.
My point being, look how out of touch they are. Cal, they're in their super expensive SUV. I imagine going around 40, 50 grand. That me being conservative. They're in their super expensive SUV. They're millionaires. So they completely disconnected with activists going on. Every activist, all mutual aid organizers, all socialists, DSA is a joke. But according to them, they still popping them up. How out of touch can they possibly be? Let's continue to be like this. Get worse and worse.
There are no Green Party members of the House. There are no Green Party members of the Senate. There are no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
If you change the structure of the system, and we wake up
wow, she looks so angry.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah,
we have ranked choice voting like that. I instantly become the biggest cheerleader for like the Green Party.
Yeah.
But since we don't have,
how brave of you, Kyle! This is my last time with y'all.
She looks angry.
This video triggers the shit out of me. So Kyle said, "Look at the bravery of Kyle." Kyle says, "Once we change the system, after the system's been changed." We got ranked choice voting. Once everyone does all the work and then the third party look like they about to win, then I join. You actually the problem.
No movement building. They're not interested.
Imagine being the white person in the civil rights movement, like, yeah, I support the civil rights, but you guys gotta be damn near already there. You guys are about to get civil rights right now. Imagine you're a white person, you're a white boy in the 40s, like, nigga, I don't think the civil rights shit gonna work, so I'm not gonna support it. That's what Kyle is saying here. Kyle is waiting to a successful third-party operation, then he's gonna support it. That's cowardice, and that's someone who completely disconnected from the movement. Because people like us have no choice but to make this shit work. Kyle's like, I'm gonna be here, be rich forever until you fucking peasants figure this out.
This is just that. There's like if Christopher Guest decided to make a movie about the online left. Right, there's like Best in Show or Spinal Tap, where they just like to get these ridiculous characters and just let them improvise. How absurd they are! Like her just sitting there with those sunglasses, just vaguely pissed off, but it's not clear exactly what it is. Did they have a fight right before they filmed this? Was he like, no, it'll be a great video? She's like, I don't want to film a fucking video. No, we have to do it. Cornel West enough.
Yeah,
fine.
Right.
Like, that's the energy here.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Disenfranchisement in a way. It's like, let me run without even having a remote prayer of winning, and like just sort of like raise, the status of my ideas or whatever.
Like,
but
wrap it up.
Wait. Listen to what they just said right here.
We got fucking 10 more minutes of this.
No, we can't watch
16
that.
minutes.
No, we're gonna end it after this. But listen to what he says here, and you tell me this isn't exactly describing the Marianne Williamson campaign. Listen to what he says here.
It's like self-disenfranchisement in a way. It's like, let me run without even having a remote prayer of winning, and like just sort of like raise, the status of my ideas or whatever. But
isn't that exactly what they said many times?
Yeah.
Isn't it value? I'll take it down now. Isn't it value in somebody running just to raise the subject of this and that and that and that? That's the whole thing they said. Now it's a problem. But any final words on that, and then we can quickly just cover the RFK reaction video there.
Krystal has that look of, all right, buddy, come on, you almost wrapping it up. Come on. She has that look of, all right, then fun time's over. I got to put down the camera.
Where the fuck are we driving anyway?
Yeah,
where are we going?
Again, 16
minutes away.
Yeah, it's a 16-minute video of what? Of them complaining about Dr. Cornel West. I mean, come on, get out of here, man.
They just project such narcissism. They're just so full of themselves. Like, oh no, we'll do a video of us in our Louis XIV room. They'll love it.
What was shocking and what was triggering the shit out of me throughout the course of that video is how confidently wrong they are. Like how smugly they will say shit that made no sense whatsoever. And I guess there's some people that just need that aura of legitimacy. Like they see someone who dresses well, they speak politely, they have an aura of professionalism. They just listen to him. But I was listening to that video. We barely made 5 minutes. We were stopping it every 20 seconds. Could not get past 2 seconds or 2 sentences or so without these people saying something stupid. But they get away with it because they get the aura of legitimacy because of their class. Like if you had an ordinary working class person with a country accent like mine say the stupid shit that they just say in their car, they will have 50 subscribers.
You're right.
And that's
You're
like
right.
scary because I literally don't know how they do
You're right.
it. I literally do not know how they do it.